My name is Ben, and I love mechanical keyboards, so much so that I've made over 100 YouTube videos about them. Doing some research about this keyboard, the Monokei Kage, when I came across something shocking on Reddit. What? Why? How? And so, I went down the rabbit hole. Monokei was established in 2017 by Caleb, aka Beaming Robot. He was still doing his masters when the company was founded. As a full-time teacher, Caleb treated business at Monokei as a side hustle. However, his relationship with the mechanical keyboard hobby is one of obsession, recalling that he just fell in love with it, to a point where he even took a detour during his honeymoon to look for certain models. Before 2017, Monokei functioned as a vendor, running group buys and selling keyboard peripherals amongst other odds and sods. While business wasn't bad, Caleb wanted something more out of Monokei. He wanted something that he could call his own. This led to the release of the first keyboard under the Monokei brand, KFE. Jointly brought to life with keyboard designer Bisoromi and PCB designer Heini, KFE was born because Caleb had a vision for Monokei, to create only good things. Therefore, KFE, in short for K First Edition, came to represent the first good keyboard that Caleb hoped to bring to the community. Heavily inspired by the OTD Koala, the KFE has a gentle curve to its side profile with a minimalistic design at its core. Surprisingly, there wasn't much marketing nor hype surrounding the debut, with less than 10 total units sold in public circulation. As such, there weren't many raving reviews out in public, nor were there any overtly negative ones.
Performance. What were your thoughts on the original KFE? Did I try the original KFE? I did, I built one up. The original KFE, it looked nice. I thought the sound was alright though. It wasn't like the best sounding board I've heard. We'll see if the CE is different.
A newer community edition of the KFE would later on be released, with a slight design change where the breast weights that used to be located on the inside are now relocated outside. With overall positive reviews and comments on YouTube, Reddit and GeekHack, the Monokei brand was slowly but surely being recognized as one that produces premium quality keyboards.
When I wasn't that deep into the hobby yet, then there's only a few vendors in Singapore, so Monokei was one of them. So I did the Google research. You go to Google and type in custom keyboards, and then you see, and then Monokei is one of them that appears there. And you go to the website, right, and you see it's like, wow, the website looks very nice. You go to the keyboard section, it's like, wow, the keyboard expensive, but it looks very nice.
If you look at the vendor list back in like 2020, 2021, and when you think of Monokei, it's like, okay, they're like the Apple of keyboards. Because of their website, their design language, you see the Instagram page, it's that vibe that you get from them. It feels very premium and you feel like you trust them.
Just days after group buy of the KFE closed, K entered the stage. Like the KFE, K is jointly designed by Bisoromi, but this time, its inspiration came from the HHKB HG keyboard. The younger brother, with a smaller 60% HHKB form factor, K captured the attention of many in the community as early as the interest check stages. The only murmurs and complaints were about its high price. At a price of 570 Singapore dollars for the standard edition and a whopping 1,200 for the special edition, K is not for the weak in heart and wallet. However, the jaw-dropping prices did not stop them from selling like hotcakes, with Monokei needing to extend the group buy due to popular demand. In fact, high prices might have actually worked in Monokei's favour by creating exclusivity and brand prestige. K set the precedence for what to expect of Monokei's future projects and is undoubtedly the cornerstone of their rise to fame. Moreover, Caleb wasn't satisfied with the success that Monokei had thus far.
A designer with a close-knitted community that supports the design that lasts, LUST, after their designs. This is a designer that will do well. Even if you set MOQ at 50, 100, 150 pieces, that is fine because that is standard keyboard MOQ. A designer that do not have a community and they come out and go like, here, design, buy me, gamble on me, will never do well. I've not seen one that have done well that way.
March of 2021 was filled with keyboard releases, one after another, from collaborations with renowned design studios and brands. I have the Monokei Kage right here, the Frankenstein version actually, meaning a mix of polycarbonate top and aluminum bottom instead of a full polycarbonate or a full aluminum case. Unlike most keyboard launches these days, they were one of the few who incorporated premium materials like brass or copper as internal or external weights, warranting their high prices.
I think the one that left the biggest impression would be the Tomo.
I would like to think it's the Monokei TGR Jane V2ME collab.
Because of the back, TGR collab, right? Looks really cool. Yeah, you cannot get it anywhere else. Other than Jane, next is Tomo already. I have 4 employees that got a Tomo. Yeah.
Them opening it up to run like raffles every month, like monthly raffles, was just insanity. That was the first company that started the if you want one, you definitely get philosophy. All of this put together made Monokei seem like a hero.
The crescendo of these collaborative efforts would eventually culminate towards probably the biggest commission that Monokei ever undertook, a one-of-one keyboard for the Japanese automotive giant Honda, centered around their new Civic Type R model. However, things were about to take a drastic turn as their next project signaled the beginning of the end. Early 2022, as Monokei by Tomodachi collaborations were drawing to a close, Monokei took on a new project, their Series 1 keycaps. These are PBT keycaps designed in-house and manufactured in Taiwan using custom molds. At a price of only $88, initial reception was good, especially with reviewers giving it high praise.
Okay, this looks really nice. It definitely has a very matte texture to it. Definitely not smooth. It's not CRP smooth. It's not EPBT smooth. It has a grip. It has a very grippy feeling to it. So pretty nice. I like this. The trays are also stackable. Whoa, wait a second.
Expectations were raised, especially since such a low price was not only rare at the time, it came from Monokei, who historically had priced their products at a premium. This drew many to join the group buy. However, just weeks later, Monokei released a statement out of the blue, stating that they ran into problems with production and quality issues. Apparently, most PBT keycaps scratch easily, and Caleb casually mentioned to just wipe them away with water and microfiber. Needless to say, this recommended fix did not sit well with buyers. Eventually, Monokei would be forced into refunding orders. Trouble was slowly brewing in the horizon. Seeing this as nothing more than a small setback, later that year, Monokei made an even bolder decision to venture into the budget keyboard space. Monokei Standard, a no-frills keyboard priced at $140. Such an unprecedented price put the Standard as one of the cheapest TKL keyboards at the time. However, it was missing features that the mechanical keyboard community loved, like QMK and VIA compatibility. Nonetheless, there was nothing wrong with the keyboard in and of itself, and people outside the nerdy enthusiast circle loved it. Monokei also spent huge marketing dollars with big publications, clearly an attempt to make the Monokei brand known to people outside the mechanical keyboard community. Skipping ahead to 2023, Monokei went on to license the Jujutsu Kaisen IP and launched 2 special edition standards, both with slightly higher prices at $169. With that much marketing hype, Monokei naturally experienced a surge in sales, and to cope with the demand, they put out notices to hire more staff to keep up. While it all seemed hunky-dory, this decision would however become the nail in the coffin. Not forgetting the cult-like mechanical keyboard community, towards the later half of 2023, Monokei went back to their roots and began working on a sequel to the keyboard that catapulted them to fame, the KV2.
We decided that we wanted to keep the spirit of the K, which is a super easy to assemble keyboard. That's not what we had in the first version. And something portable, something you could use, something you could really play around with, while paying homage to one of the best keyboards in the world.
Curiously, they opted to bypass the interest check stage and dove straight into group buy. Perhaps the success of its predecessor gave them confidence. Perhaps drunk from their previous successes of the collaboration frenzy, Monokei abandoned the pipeline that sustained them. While it wasn't much of an issue for the KV2 that presumably had averaged to good sale numbers, a big problem manifested when Monokei yet again decided to venture into uncharted territory. Early 2024, Monokei was once again hitting the headlines with Monokei Systems, a low-profile keyboard. Not only that, they launched at CES, the world's biggest stage for technology. The most influential brands and hottest startups converged at CES to showcase what's next, drawing plenty of eyeballs and attention to their upcoming product launches and concept tech. Alongside its systems, Monokei launched Series 2 keycaps, a successor to Series 1, but this time for low-profile keyboards. At this point, they are neck-deep in the consumer market game. With the exception of KV2, every product they designed was tailored for the mass market. And then came the straw that broke the camel's back. "2024 marked the beginning of a new era of budget keyboards. A huge wave of budget keyboard manufacturers entered the scene.
Right now, the prices, you look at keyboards, it went down a lot definitely. You're not paying $300-400 for a plastic keyboard now. A plastic keyboard will get you you can get it below $100. Aluminum keyboard, you know, during COVID, sub $100, unheard of, really unheard of. But you have it now.
Pre-COVID, I would think they were still quite picky. Those were the true enthusiasts, I would say. At that point that people had very strong opinions on stuff. Then during COVID, as long as anything is in stock, people will buy it. Which is why even as vendors we feel during COVID, anything that there is, take everything, is going to fly off the shelves, 100%. That one is no doubt. But now you really have to be careful with what you bring in because everyone is making something very similar. Buyers are really seeing it in terms of the price, the designer name, reliability and all that stuff. Just like regular consumer electronics. That's what I feel.
Nowadays, you're looking at the brands like Neo, QK, you know, and then something more for office use. You have things like Rainy Crush, you know. It's just keyboards like that, really, right, which are kind of considered custom, but they actually do come pre-built.
On the low-profile front, brands like Newfie and Lowfree were rapidly building up their brands as quality, low-profile keyboard manufacturers. In what was once a largely unserved market that the Standard and Systems existed in, now there is a plethora of competitive options for consumers. Met with such intense competition, instead of standing out, the tidal wave swallowed Monokei whole. One after another, complaints started to surface, pertaining to orders that were delivered to their customers. From complaints about the Series 2 keycaps, to literal safety hazards with KV2, to unfulfilled orders with the systems. In short, they were subpar, and that's being generous. So looking at the span of 2 years, from 2022 to 2024, nothing they ventured into succeeded. The Monokei brand that was once known for all the good things is now known for all the bad. What I guess happened to Monokei can be attributed to 5 reasons. Number 1, they sacrifice familiarity for profit margins. Make no mistake, Monokei knows where to find quality manufacturers. On the keycaps front, the community is spoiled by the presence of well-known manufacturers like EPPT, PPT Fans, KKB, Curative, and many more.
Let's say if you talk about keyboards, of course you're going to have to sample different CNC factories. They're anodizing, they're sandblasting, you have to go through a lot of steps. It's going to cost you a lot of money, but you also won't know whether you'll break even at the end. It takes a lot of time and effort. Yeah.
Number 2, they were too ambitious. For 2 whole years, all they did was try to break new grounds. First, it was keycaps, then it was budget keyboards, and then it was low-profile keyboards. It just never stopped. Sources say that Monokei was working on an innovative daughterboard design that was supposed to function similarly to how the USB hub in a QK Duo works. Theoretically, further down the pipeline, this universal daughter board is able to connect wirelessly to other products that Monokei wanted to release. Of course, this daughter board never saw the light of day, and was allegedly the reason why systems was delayed time and again. Number 3, they underestimated the competition. Monokei contracts machining factories that are located overseas, likely China, or in the case of keycaps, Taiwan. Neither of which are easily accessible, unlike say Manatrix and QWERTY keys, who are both based in China, giving them a geographical advantage. So by the time one manufacturing error is found and rectified, you're looking at weeks, maybe even months of delay. And all this time, you're just racking up huge amounts of operational costs and overheads. Number 4, they abandoned their roots in the enthusiast community. Even without an interest check and a group buy pipeline, many have found tremendous success. Norbauer is one, a 3,500 or even 8,000 Seneca with 6 months of waitlist. Another one is Work Technica, who have been putting out bangers after bangers since their Work 1, and not to mention the team and mode design. Unlike all these brands, Monokei had tainted their brand image by not only venturing into the budget space, but also put out horrendous quality at the same time. 5, they made poor business decisions that shortened their operational runway.
Vendor will always think of profits first. I think that is something that hobbyists hate to hear. Okay? Hobbyists think that vendors don't have to eat on. Okay, but the truth of the matter is that vendors have to pay rent, have to pay salaries, have to pay utilities, and have to have savings themselves. Right? It's still a job. It's still a thing that needs to put food on the table. So Monokei's decision is what that was impressive to me. To pick the correct product, to work with the correct designer, and then have the balls to run it forever.
I can see why the collaboration frenzy in 2021 can trick Caleb into thinking that the demand for their products were at a healthy level, and perhaps Monokei had risen into a cult-like brand where consumers purchase mindlessly. And it was even more shocking when I found out what the payment arrangements were between vendors and their suppliers.
Yeah, I like to pay everything up front. Yeah, I'm completely fine with that. For me, that's my way of doing things. I like doing it upfront. I like to know that I'm able to pay for it fully. If I can't pay for it fully right now, then that's going to be a problem later. I know there are vendors who like to do 50%, and then afterwards, when the stuff is done, then they'll pay the remaining 50% because they want to ensure that the quality is there. But for me, because I work with my manufacturers for years, I am completely fine with doing that. I trust them completely. They do tell me, like, please, we are completely fine with taking 50%. Or like, we are fine with taking 25%. It's okay. I say, for me, I don't like it because I want to make sure that when they have the stock ready, I have the money there for that. Because I'm not doing pre-order. If I'm doing pre-order, maybe it's different because I can wait for people to make the purchase. I will have the money come in. I can pay the manufacturers later.
Our side of things is actually like fully paid. You know, like we have to fully pay everything. Yeah, we don't like split in half or like 75. That's not our way of, we don't like to do business that way. Yeah, we like to do it upfront so that it actually creates a great relationship when it comes to working with designers or vendors themselves. Yeah, what we usually do will be to lower the commitment level. So that means you provide a lesser MOQ. Just pay a little bit more, a little more premium, but make sure that future runs that you do, you're kind of covered. Yeah.
It was unclear whether Monokei followed the same practice, but I can't help but think that it is. This cascades and amplifies any production issues and QC issues. Poor quality inventory would stack up, racking up operational costs and overhead, giving rise to poor cash flow as inventory remained unsold due to poor public reception. These 5 things are all within Monokei's control, and manufacturers doing them dirty should not have thrown this big a wrench into the business. It clearly showed that Monokei did not understand their target audience nor their brand disposition. Are they still a boutique design house commanding premium prices? Or are they now a budget brand trying to take hold of more market share? By being neither here nor there, they are literally digging a hole for themselves that is too hard to climb out. Finally, I like to read a quote from a game that I've begun following fairly recently.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
Alright, I'm done. See ya.
We want to make something that works. We want to make something that solves the problem, because we can keep making things that look good but serves no purpose. The world is full of stuff like that. And if that day arrives, that's the day we close down, because we have nothing much to say. But today, for the next few years, we still have a lot to say regarding design, coming from Singapore, coming from Southeast Asia, and we think the world should listen to us. So that's how we take it.